Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for checking in to Khaliis Take. If this is your first time, please like, subscribe, leave any comments. Also, hit the notification bell for any future content to get it first. And enjoy the video.
Yeah, when we talk about the All-Star game, we're talking about, you know, this being an issue in regards to the players' health, safety, and all the above. Now, to me, you know, there's been some NBA analysts that sat there and said that it's better for the players, the NBA players, to actually play in the All-Star game rather than not be there at all. And I definitely understand where they're coming from because in regards to the situation, you want to sit there and have all your players that are supposed to be there because, of course they're going to be on strict lockdown. It's going to be safety protocols. Everybody's going to get tested probably several times while they're there. And, I definitely understand that. And in regards to the players, who don't show up or who don't make the All-Star game, the NBA is looking at it like, well, those players are going to do what they want to do. They're going to take trips to New Mexico, maybe go on vacation somewhere, and then when the NBA All-Star weekend is over with, they're going to come back to the NBA and be playing again, and possibly, give other players what they might have caught from other, being around other people in the outside world, which is, possibly COVID, any type of sickness or anything like that. So I definitely understand where they're coming from in regards to that. And it is definitely something concerning to me and probably a lot of other people as well, other fans as well, along with the NBA itself, because to have players not show up at the All-Star game, first of all, I believe De'Aaron Fox was one of the players that came out and said that, if you don't show up at the All-Star game and if you're selected, you're going to get fined anyway. Now, let's just be honest. These players make tons of money, so I don't really believe them getting fined is something that's really going to make them be irritable by the situation. But at the same time, it's definitely something to keep eye of and be noteworthy of. And when I say that, I definitely mean for the simple fact that you have to have these players in order. You have to have everything, in standard, and everything has to be structured. So what I mean by saying that is Adam Silver is definitely trying to implement to these players in some type of way that it's better for you to show up to the All-Star game because you're going to be tested, you're going to be there, and they're going to do all these safety protocols before you even step on the court against any of these other players. The only problem I have with the situation is, like I just alluded to, the other players that are not making the All-Star game. What about them? What about the players who don't make the All-Star game? What about the players who don't come to All-Star weekend? What about the players that are sitting at home doing what they want to do with their families and might go out and take vacation or do anything of that nature and possibly bring back any sickness or illness to the other players who've been tested and who are cleared to play and who don't have any illnesses or shortness of breath or sickness or COVID type symptoms? These are the things that Adam Silver is probably pondering in his mind right now as we speak, because it's just really huge questions to ask, and it's a really huge concern. And I definitely understand, the likes of players like LeBron James. He came out, I think, approximately a week ago, and he said that, he didn't think it'd be right if we played in the All-Star game. And I see where LeBron is coming from as well. And if you check out one of my other videos, I have a video in regards to that and what LeBron is saying, and I definitely agree where he's coming from because, to make an understanding of what LeBron's going at, it doesn't matter, if we're all there in, the All-Star game playing. What about the other players that's not there playing? They're on, like I said, they're on vacation. They're doing what they want to do. They're not exactly following protocol, safety, any of that. They're actually doing what they want to do on their time, which is perfectly fine. But when you put players in that position to go out and be themselves, do what they want to do, they're going to do what they usually do in regular life, which is go out, be with family, have fun, go out places, and it's possible they might come back and affect all the players. And when you have that, if you have one bad apple go out and ruin all the other ones, one person can go out and get infected or excuse me, get sick or anything like that and play on that court when the NBA All-Star weekend is over, and all the players can get sick. And then you really have an issue because now you have a long-term issue, because if that happens, now the NBA has to stop again like they did last year for several months, a couple months. And now you have to figure out how to, retool the situation, how to refigure the situation, because now you're going to lose even more money. So I definitely understood in that aspect maybe where LeBron was coming from, and I definitely think that's something Adam Silver needs to look into a little more, because losing money over an All-Star weekend is one thing, but losing money for the remainder of the season after that is a whole different story. And I definitely think Adam Silver is going to have to, manipulate the situation a little better. He's going to have to really figure out how to do this. And he's going to have to really figure out how to get these players on the same page with it. And he's going to really have to make a decision that everybody, or at least the majority of players, are comfortable with. Now, I'm pretty sure they're having meetings and all this stuff now, trying to really figure out what the direction is. And everything is up in the air. But me personally, I would definitely worry about the long term more than the short term. And if what comes to be, we need to get rid of the All-Star game coming up here soon, just so we'll be able to finish off the rest of the season and keep these guys going and everything like that. That would be the better situation. And I do understand, even if you don't have the All-Star game, more players might be susceptible to go out and do what they want to do and this and that. I definitely understand that as well. So, I mean, like I said, it's really a up in the air type situation. But me personally, like I said, I would keep the players under a safe protocol. They would have to check in, with certain people, and they have to get tested every day still, as if they're still playing games every day, on that weekend or that All-Star weekend. I mean, they still have to get tested the same way as if they're just playing games every night until the season starts back up, or, well, not the season starts back, until we start playing games again. And then we just go from there. Because to me, like I said, the long term, you do not want one of these players to take that vacation and go out and bring sickness to everybody else, or you don't want all these players in the All-Star game around each other. And let's say it's All-Star weekend and they're going out to parties, this and that, mingling with other people, other outsiders, and just bringing that back to other players, and other players are starting to get sick more. You really don't want this to become a long-term issue. You don't want this to become a long-term type thing. You really want to try to monetize the situation as much as you can, but I know Adam Silver can only do but so much. You have to understand, these are grown men. You can't tell a grown man what to do, especially not a grown man with millions of dollars. A grown man with millions of dollars makes his own decisions, and he makes his own avenues, and there's nothing else you can do about that. But what Adam Silver can do, he can just try to implement as much as he can about safety and how much money they'll be losing if these players decide to step out of their box and go do something like, hang out at clubs, hang out with a bunch of random people that they shouldn't be around, or maybe even family members, people like that who might possibly have the virus or anything, or be sick or anything like that. They really have to implement this to the players, and the players are going to really have to understand, just because you had this time off for All-Star game, or just because you didn't get selected for the All-Star game, you still have to maintain your protocols and maintain to be safe. Because the long term of the situation is, if they have to shut down this season like they did last season for a couple of months, they're going to lose even more money than they did last time. And this is something that Adam Silver and the rest of the crew and the NBA commission, the board, they really can't afford this going forward. So, I mean, they really need everybody to be on the same page, but it's going to be really hard, especially when your main superstar, the main cream of the crop in LeBron James, doesn't want to play in the All-Star game. And he's having some difficulties understanding how things are supposed to go. And he really is not all for the decisions that has already been made as far as the All-Star game. So to me, it's a lot of complications there. It's a lot of questions on top of questions, but we will see exactly how it goes, and hopefully everybody just stays healthy. I really hope that transpires, because the NFL made it through a whole season, and they made it through the whole season well. So with that being said, like I said, I really hope that the NBA finds a way to make it through their whole season also, because it's really not good for the sport to start back up the way it did the NBA, and now it's already a shortened season. But in long term, you have to shut the season down, because there's a lot of players who are not trying to understand the severity of the situation by staying safe as possible, just because they don't have to. Because like like I said, it's hard to tell a grown man what to do, especially a grown man with millions of dollars. So I definitely understand where they come from with that. I definitely understand, how that is, and I definitely know it's a hard job for Adam Silver. But hey, this is what Adam Silver gets paid for. This is where he's going to earn his money, and he's going to have to earn his money, because I'm really interested to see how it's going to go. I'm really interested to see how the All-Star game goes, if they have one, if other players, after the All-Star game is over with, do other players come back? Is everybody still healthy, safe, nobody sick? Did everybody follow protocols who made it to the All-Star game? And did everybody follow protocols who didn't make it to the All-Star game, being at home and still being, quarantined, around other people? So, I mean, I'm really interested to see how this goes. I really can't wait to see how it transpires and turns out. But, yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic, and definitely I gave you my take on it. So please feel free to leave any comments on it. But, hey, we'll see how it goes going forward. Hopefully everything works out for the best. Hey, till next time.